Hey guys, this week I'm going to be building a penny board, and I'm going to start off by taking some transparent paper and laying it over this template my friend gave me that he wants his board to look like. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to place this down, tape it together, then tape it on the board so it doesn't move while I'm tracing it. And I'm just going to drop some masking tape down on the sides to hold it in place while I trace it. And now I have it all traced out in the main place that he wants it. So I'm going to take some paper now, and I will transfer it to that by looking through a window. Now, if you want to make this totally original, I'd recommend drawing it on paper, so then you don't have to do all this tracing, but he did it on this piece of wood, so this is just how I'm going to transfer it through. So now I have the template right here for what I want the actual board to look like, and I'm going to be cutting that out next. So now I have headed over to my table saw where I will be ripping this 8-inch birch that I'm using. Now I would recommend Baltic birch, but they don't sell that in my Home Depot, so I just had to go with birch. And I used birch on my longboard, and it's plenty strong. And I'm doing 3-ply stick, so I think it will be enough to handle a penny board. So right now, me and my friend are applying the glue onto the board, and you want to get this process done as quick as you can because you don't want the glue to be setting up while you're applying it. And I cut out each strip of birch into 8-inch pieces, and I will be gluing this together with Titebond 2, where that is waterproof, and you can also use Titebond 3 as well, and Titebond 2 will do the job just fine. And after the board is done being applied with all the glue, I'm just going to laminate it together and use some spring clamps to clamp it together. And in order to get that tail bend, and in order to get the bend in the tail, I'm going to be laying a 2x4 across it and clamping it down across the workbench and have two 2x4s underneath. I will show you that up close after I am done with the total glue up process and just show you how I did that. So like I said, I am going to have this 2x4 across here. What it is just a 2x4 across the workbench. And if you're doing this on a skinnier workbench, which you probably are, it can be a lot shorter. But so I laid it across here, and I put clamping pressure on this side, clamping pressure on that side, and I have these little legs under here to hold it up, just so I can get the clamps underneath it. And over here is where I put two 2x4s down flat originally, and I cranked this down, and it gave it this nice bend in the tail. You can't really see it as well as it is right now, but that will give it a perfectly strong tail bend. Then after I put this piece of birch board down just to support this while it dries. And you're going to want it to set for a complete 24 hours to get the strongest board. And just apply as many clamps as you had. This is all the clamps that I have. And what I did was, to make it even stronger, was like on the C clamp, to get more coverage, I put this block down and you just tighten it on, and it covers this whole area now. So right now the glue is done drying, and I unclamped everything, as you can tell. And now it's time I can show you that tail that I got. And it kind of goes upward a little. but the tail came out really well. And I'm going to take my template that I made, homemade. You can actually print these offline too if you want. And I'm just going to line it up where I think it would look good. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take a pencil. I'm going to mark out plenty of room extra, but I'm going to cut off this line right here that I made so that I don't have all this, but I'm actually cutting it. So I'm going to head over to the bandsaw and cut this mark off real quick. So I've cut the board into a way more manageable size, and I'm going to take my template now. And what I like to do for this stuff is you can use some type of adhesive spray and just spray it on. But I like to use masking tape. And now what I like to do is tape around the edge so you don't get any chip out when you're sawing. And now you can either cut it out on a jigsaw or a bandsaw. I'm actually going to do it with a jigsaw because I know that I can freehand it very well, and I'm not sure how well I might be able to do it on the bandsaw. So I'm going to do it on my jigsaw. You don't need a real expensive one. This is like a $30 jigsaw. So I'm just gonna freehand it now. And with stuff like this, I just like to hang it over the edge of the table, set a clamp on it, and call it good. I'm just peeling off the tape, and as you can tell, there's absolutely no chip out at all. And if you did this without tape, you would probably get a lot of chip out because this veneer is not that thick and it easily chips out. But let's head over to the sander to get a more smoother, cleaner finish. So now I'm going to take a random orbital sander and just give the whole thing a sanding on the sides and the edges and everything. So right now I am still sanding, and what I'm doing is I'm just taking this thin coat of veneer off here to get to a different color wood. As you can see, this is the wood that will be in the ending, and woodworking is pretty much 99% sanding, 1% other. So guys, now I have the board sanded and a little bit of round over on the bottom as well. It's very smooth, did the sides and everything. Came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Grip tape will be mostly on the top in a kind of pattern. What I'm going to do is use some wipe on polyurethane, hand rub beauty, that's what it says, and just apply it by using, I'm just going to use a paper towel and wipe it onto the bottom. drilling out some holes for the board and everything to go. I'm going to temporarily put some longboard trucks on it because I'm waiting for the penny board trucks to arrive. But this is the final product right here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Watch it just break.